The average Donkey Kong game doesn't last a minute.
So here I am on the GT stage, King of Kong, A Fistful of Quarters. The movie is great, very interesting film. Tell me about it.
Well, it's this portrait of a rivalry between two grown men on a classic arcade title, Donkey Kong. These two men have been playing Donkey Kong for 20-some years, and they have just, in the last several years, started battling one another for the high score. And during the course of filming, the Guinness Book of World Records announced that they would include classic gaming and game titles in the book again, so the stakes for the film went way up while we were watching this rivalry.
The battle got bloodier.
Yeah. The record was originally set in 1982 by Billy Mitchell, who's another one of the characters in the film, and who parked the score on Donkey Kong so high that no one could even challenge it for 20 years. Billy is an extraordinary persona. He has a very crafted look and appearance, and he's sort of the king of all video games. I think he got the award as the Video Game Player of the Century. He's like a WWF wrestler. I mean, people know when Billy Mitchell's around, and the whisper starts, and everyone wants to be around him. Everyone wants to see him. He's an extraordinary person. And then Steve Wiebe, the guy we met in Seattle, came out of nowhere, essentially, and was able to get a score that bettered Billy's. And it did so much better, and it had been so long since anyone had broken a record on Kong that they were at first pretty suspicious that someone could have possibly challenged Billy's amazing score. He is about the polar opposite to Billy Mitchell.
Okay.
Steve is the kind of guy, one of his friends from middle school said he could be in the same room, you'd forget he's there. Steve is an incredibly thoughtful, very talented, and very, very humble guy. And he's also the best in the world at Donkey Kong, or at least he's one of the two best. That's sort of the subject of the film. Billy and Steve play at a level like nobody else on Donkey Kong. They're sort of savants at Donkey Kong.
So where did you get the idea to turn this into a film?
Well, the producer, Ed Cunningham, met Steve Wiebe, who's sort of the underdog figure in the film, when he was going for the record in Donkey Kong, and when actually two men had broken into his garage to inspect his machine to verify that it was legitimate. That once we heard that fact, we knew that something serious was happening and that this title was indeed prized.
What is it about Donkey Kong that you think is so challenging that just has lived on for so long that people are still caring about?
It's the hardest game.
Okay, why is it so hard?
Well, it's the amount of randomness. There's no way to memorize the game. There's no way to play a perfect game. So every time it's completely different, and the patterns that execute as you are playing the game are incredibly dense. So you'll have 17, 18 things that you're tracking at the same time. You have to simply have a skill, a talent that almost no human has. And Billy and Steve, for whatever reason, have this gift. And in a sense, they're the only two men that can appreciate one another's talent, because no one else can get anywhere near them.
Now that the movie is all done, in the end, what was the story that you wanted to tell?
I would say the story we wanted to tell pales in comparison to the story that unfolded in front of our eyes. We thought it was going to be just a portrait of a competition between two men, and it actually became a portrait of each competitor and how different they were as people.